Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We have three things in our experience. One is the object of experience. Like I am experiencing you and you are experiencing me. I have no control over you. You can sit here, you can sleep here, you can go away, you can shout, I have no control over you. Second thing, the second aspect of our life is I am experiencing. So you are an object of experience. I am the experiencer of the object. So, second thing. Now the third thing, leave it, is the experience. So, every experience has these three components. Object of experience, experiencer of the object, and experiencer of the object. Now, out of these three things, which are at our disposal? We have no control over the object, the world that we are experiencing. See? When it rains, it rains. When it is cold, it is cold. When it is hot, it is hot. Second thing, we have all the control over the experiencer. See, it is something like this. A man and a husband. What is the difference between a man and a husband? Man is always happy and husband is fill in the gap. I have no experience because I am not a husband. Now what is the distance between the husband and a man? All our life is a journey from the husband to the man or wife to the woman. While I was coming from somewhere, I happened to meet one Indian in the train and he was talking to me. I was asking him, and as typical Indians, we want to know everything about everybody. So when you were born, why you were born, why don't you die, when did you marry, how many times. This is general typical character of every Indian. You know who is an Indian? He who wants to know everything about others, number one. Number two, he who can take decision for others. Number three, he who is expert in somebody else's job, not his own job. So he was asking me a question, I was asking him. Then the main question came. He asked me, Swamiji, are you married? I said, no, I am happy. Because in this world there are only two types of people. Those who are married and those who are happy. Now what is the difference? Why a man becomes miserable after marriage? Be very attentive. See? We all can attribute miseries to some cause. I am miserable because of wife, I am miserable because of husband, I am miserable because of government, I am miserable because of the shopkeepers, I am miserable because of the people. So many things. So miseries can be attributed to so many causes, but we are all free to choose to be miserable or not to be miserable. See friends, like when we go to any country, during the immigration they give you one form for filling in. And there are dozens of questions. Question number one. Are you a member of active terrorist organization? Options are given, yes and no. Are some criminal proceedings standing against you? Yes or no. Are you carrying weapons of mass destruction? Yes or no. So choice is given to us. And those who do not choose properly, they are refused entry. See? In the same manner, miseries may come to us, but to be miserable or not to be miserable is a choice given to us. Choose correctly. See, and this choice can be exercised only if we are little alert and find out exactly who is miserable. See, one example I'll tell you. Once I was in a very big hotel, Taj Hotel in Bombay, where there was attack many years before. And my purpose of going to the places is only eat and sleep. I do nothing in my life except these two things, which I sincerely do. Eating and sleeping. Rest of the things happen. So when I went for some marriage and I took my plate and I was sitting somewhere and I saw one man entering. I didn't know who is that person. So I just called him. I said, hey, excuse me, please come. So he came to me. I asked him, what is the number of shoe that you normally wear? You can imagine in a 5-star hotel with a Swami, with a plate of food in the hand, asking this funny question. He looked at me. Who am I? I said, don't worry about me. Please tell me if you don't mind. He said, I put on normally shoe with number 10. I said, today you have put shoe number 9. Oh God, how do you know? Are you a cobbler? I said, yes, I am a cobbler. Then he told his story. Because I had to come today for this function, I wanted to buy a new shoe. So I went and selected one. And at the delivery counter they gave me. I paid and came home. And just before getting into the car, I put on the shoes and came. And I was feeling very uneasy. New shoe, I mean like that. But when I am climbing the steps, it is paining. But my question is, how do you know that I have put on one number less shoe? I said, because you are walking funny. Normally, a person doesn't walk the way you were walking. If this is understood, exactly the same way, man is infinite. Joy. When that infinite man or that infinite woman expresses through the shoes of a wife or a husband, he starts acting funny. That funny expression is called as being miserable. So what is to be done? Remove the shoe? No, don't remove the shoe. The only way is adopt yourself. We have to learn to adapt ourselves. Those who cannot adopt, they get erased in this world. And an adaptation is called as live as we live on the stage as an actor. We all have to play many roles. Husband, wife, brother, sister, mother, father, citizen, officer, subordinate, shopkeeper, driver. So many roles we have to play. And each role is painful if we do not adapt ourselves to the given role. See, in a drama, there are two parties. One is the actor on the stage, as I am now, and secondly, the audience in front of the actor. Now in this, the story is developed. And in that psychological upsurge, the actor comes and delivers his pathetic condition. He cries. He is most miserable. And that time, the whole audience gets identified with that character and starts becoming also miserable. Then takes out the tissue paper and start wiping the tears through the nose. In today's world, people don't cry through the eyes, because if they want to, touch the eyes, the eyelashes will come out. Therefore, there is no artificial nose, so they can put, And when they are crying because of the pathetic condition of the actor, what is going on in the mind of the actor? You fools, You are paying through your nose and crying really for the fake performance. And I am paid for the fake performance. See the difference. The actor is acting. The audience was reacting. Life is not reactions. Life is only actions. See, all the actors in the world, they get name, fame, recognition, wealth, everything, because they are not reacting. But if you see the lives of many actors, on the stage they are perfect actors, but in their own life they are reactors. And as a result, they commit suicide. They are frustrated, there is a depression, there is separation. Because in the actual life, we should act and not react. See, friends, once this principle is understood, then you start understanding everything about life. See, once it happened somewhere, and one lady came and told me, Swamiji, I got a big problem with my husband. I want your advice. So I said, look here, before you ask me anything, I will ask you a few questions. Are you 40, 42, 45 plus? Swamiji, you should not ask questions to ladies about the age. I said, don't worry about it. I am trying to solve your problem. Yes, you are perfectly right. I am 44. Very good. Second question. Is your husband 50 plus? Oh God, you know everything. I said, you are only answer, yes. And this is the time when both the man and the woman, they are unable to handle their hormonal balance. See, that time, one between the two must have magnanimity to understand the other person. And we, instead of understanding others, we are constantly reacting and misunderstand. See, friends, and therefore, one of the best spiritual practices, learn from your own experiences of life. Guru is not somewhere outside. Guru is every experience of our life. Every experience. When I know that if I take this kind of food, I get a digestion problem, then what should be the way? Avoid that food. So simple. But instead of that, we complain and go to the doctor. See, friends, therefore, to improve the quality of our life, the important thing is, number one, start learning from the experiences of your own life. If we don't learn from the experiences of our own life, even God cannot teach us. Number one. Number two, when the experience is good, we don't care. And after some time, we take it for granted that good experiences are the only experience I should have. And it doesn't happen. Then some bad experiences start coming. Now analyze the second step. Whenever, let us say, we have a tooth pain, a root canal in the molar, that time, is the pain given to us for making us miserable, or is the pain a reminder, hey man, take care of your gums? If there is no pain, we will not know what is going on wrong inside us. So instead of taking that pain as a reminder, we take the painkillers. And what is the painkiller? That which kills you without pain. Painkillers are not the curative medicines. One example I'll tell you. There is a friend of mine, she is a gynecologist, must be about 60 plus. And because she herself is a gynecologist, all medicines are available to her whenever she wants. And she started taking some pain here and there, take small, this painkiller. Slowly, her dose increased from half a tablet to 1 tablet to 1.5 tablet, 2 tablets, 3 tablets, and she was consuming those wherever there is a pain. And one day she had really acute pain in her lower abdomen. So she called her friend, another gynecologist, hey, please check, I am feeling very uneasy. And when her friend saw, her cervix burst open like a mud pot filled with yogurt. It burst open. And almost half a bucket of pus and everything came out. Just she touched and it happened. And then it was diagnosed 3rd-degree cancer. So she asked me, Swamiji, why this happened? I said, is the pain you are getting for the first time? No, I have been getting it for many years. That time, if you had taken care, this condition would not have come. Please remember, every misery in our life is a reminder. Hey man, you are going the wrong way. Take care of your physical health, your mental health, your intellectual health. Whenever we are hurt, that pain is not given to us to make us suffer, but to remind us, take care of yourself. It is something like, today I gave my clothes for washing. So, the clothes are put into the washing machine, hot water, strong detergent, high revolution. And when it is going on, do we say to the clothes, now suffer? No. They are given that treatment so that they can be reused. Exactly the same way, look at every problem of life as a gift the life has given us. Those who do not have pains, they are dead. See, friends. And thus, when we start learning from every experience of our life, the net result is we will grow wise with every additional experience. And if we do not learn from our life's experiences, we will grow old and otherwise. And who are old otherwise people? They have nothing except complaints about the whole world. Constantly complaining. Friends, we are in this world for our evolution. This is the 3rd principle if we really want to change our own life. See? It is something like, we go to a school, in our classroom, the teacher is teaching us. For example, I am supposed teaching you physics. Now when you as a student are learning, will any one of you get up and say, sir, she has not understood? No. In the classroom, we are concerned about our understanding, is it not? In this universe, we are here to learn and grow wise. Don't worry about the world. See? It is something like this. One student joined medical college, not even 6 months have gone, and he wanted to serve the society and wanted to practice medicine. First you learn, then the things will happen. In the same manner, first we discover wisdom. First we start living that wisdom 24/7 in our life. That net result is, like a magnetic field, we develop in our own personality the spiritual charisma. See, friends. And such a person, by his or her mere presence, the things change around. See? In this world, nobody likes being told, do this, don't do this thing. Nobody likes being told you are wrong. See, friends. And that is how all the great masters never tell others what you should do. They demonstrate in their own life every now and then. See, friends, this is the fourth step. When we are leading our life with the people, let us be an ideal before the world, then only they can be helped. See, once somebody asked me a question in a university in UK, Swamiji, what is the problem of our society we don't know? We are unable to solve. There are too many crimes and all kinds of things happening. What is the problem? How can we solve it? I said, look here, don't blame the youngsters. Youth is not useless. They are used less. They have no ideal to whom they can look upon. See, parents are not available. The society doesn't present anyone who can inspire, motivate a young man. So what we can do normally, we start condemning. Oh, today the youth is so bad. Youth is not bad, friends. All the miseries of the world is not created by the youth. It is the elders who are creating the problems. See, friends. Therefore, if we start from our own home, wherever we are, let us be an ideal for the youngsters in our own family. See, friends, once in India, I was going somewhere by car, as usual the traffic jam, so I was sitting in the car. And next to, on the roadside, there was one auto rickshaw, three-wheeler, and one small child, maybe about 5 years, 6 years, he was sitting and he was imagining that he is riding the auto rickshaw. Like that he was doing. So I talked to him. I said, hey, what do you want to become when you become big? Me? I want to become a auto rickshaw driver like my dad. See, friends, for the child, the ideal is father. See? If we, the elders, are not able to provide an ideal for the next generation, where they will go? Then they go to the drinks, or the drugs, or the bars, or the parties, and destroy their life. See, friends. It is therefore, when we decide that we are in this world only for our evolution. Now, next step, be very attentive. This is all observation in the world. Don't have to be very extremely intelligent or studious. Only observe life, then you get all the wisdom. Plants, they eat from below through the roots and they grow upwards. Animals, they eat from the front, grow backwards. Human beings eat from above, grow downwards. Now what will be the next possibility? Eat from backward and grow forward. It cannot be. Therefore, as a human being, we have achieved perfection at the body level. There cannot be further evolution. See, friends, if our life is only like it is said, ahara nidra bhaya maithurancha, eat, sleep, all the time sense of insecurity and procreation. If these are the only 4 things that we live for in this world, God will correct his mistake. He will say, my dear, it is not your fault. I made a mistake in making you a human being. You should be born as a reindeer. Think. As human being, only possible evolution is only spiritual evolution. I am not talking about religious. I am talking about spiritual. See? And like science, science is for everyone. I cannot say, I am Indian. I don't believe in the law of gravity discovered by Newton. Therefore, I go on the 20th floor and peep out. I don't believe in the law of gravity. You may not believe, but the law of gravity believes in you. See, friends, exactly the same way, the spiritual science is applied for every human being. It is a principle. It is not a personality. See, scientist is not a personality. It's a principle that is demonstrated. In the same manner, our life is a manifestation of something divine. See, once we take this view of life, then we will start analyzing our own experiences. Whenever we are miserable, at the root of every misery, there is Mr. Somebody. I am miserable as a husband, as a wife, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister, as a driver. Somebody or the other is there to be miserable. And we are carrying the burden of so many buddies on our heart. Inside we are not one. Inside we are a poultry farm. Cock, 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 cock. How much we keep on talking to ourselves. See, friends, because we are not one. We only ask a question, we only reply. See, once it happened in Australia, we were going through immigration and there was some person who had a very bad exchange of words with the immigration officer. So immediately security came and he was taken away. And the whole atmosphere in that hall was tense. And I had a friend with me, we were going through. And he told me, Swamiji, please take care. You show all your passport and your, return ticket and everything, And we let us pray to the Lord. We should not be sent to that fellow, he's already off mood. I don't think he will do something good to anybody now. He is very much disturbed. So much he was tense. I said, come on, man, relax, relax. And as if it has to happen that way, we were directed to that person. He held my hand very strongly. Swamiji, I said, now you shut up. Just keep cool. And we went, I presented my passport. He did not ask even one question. He looked at me. And then my friend, Swamiji, he didn't ask any question. I said, questions are not there. Questions are in you. We go on imagining. And this imagination, projection, becomes our second nature. See, friends. Therefore, when we are disturbed, instead of blaming others, find out who is disturbed. Then you will come to know at the root of every disturbance, there is Mr. Somebody sitting. Now what is to be done? Remember, this is the role that we have to play. Play your role perfectly well. But at the same time, remember, it is just a role. It is not everything in your life. And to do this, one of the simplest technique is start living in the utter present. See, according to the tradition, I am being a Swami. He is not supposed to read newspapers, magazines, etc. I am supposed to be a holy person, holes everywhere. So one day, in some place, very elderly people sitting, traditional old people, and the food was yet to be served. So I took the newspaper and reading. So that old man asked me, Swamiji, excuse me, you are a Swami. I said, it's not my fault. Next. How come you are reading newspaper? Swamis normally read the holy books. You are reading newspaper. How come? I said, see, you have heard me in the lecture. Yes. What is that? What you really liked in my lecture? He said, you emphasize a lot on remaining in the present. Very good. You understood correctly. This newspaper is today's newspaper. So I am in the utter present. See, friends, when we talk about ego, we simply say, but what exactly ego is? Then ego is somebody. See, once in Varanasi, I was having my lectures, and there was one elderly gentleman, very well read. He is a editor of a very celebrated, important spiritual magazine in India. He was also there. Very elderly person, almost 88 not out, 90 not out that time. So after my one or two lectures, he said, Swamiji, I want to ask you one question. I said, please go ahead. Why are you insisting not to talk about our past? You are insisting so much. Don't bring your past in the present and spoil the present. Why? Because unless we talk about our childhood, how our children will know what was the life like? I said, look here, the first principle. Who wants to know our past? Everybody is concerned about their own future. But we oldies have no future. We have only past. See? And therefore, old people are not accepted in the younger generation group. Because when anything is happening, the oldie brings out the dead stock. When we were children, who cares? See, this is very important thing. And to understand this problem of ego, once in a management conference, I conducted one experiment. Because that was one of the topics they had asked me. Swamiji, please explain us this word ego, because we heard about it number of times, but we never understand what exactly ego means. I said, okay, let us play something, then we'll understand easily. It was a mixed gathering of these CEOs and their families, evening time. And I said, okay, we'll play and please cooperate in this game. And there was one small child, maybe about 5 years, 7 years. I called, hey, you come here. He came. And I told him, now talk about yourself for 5 minutes. It was a problem for him to talk. I like chocolates. First statement. Again, second statement, big problem. I don't like to go to school. Second question. Statement. Third statement. I have nothing to talk. I said, even then you have to stay here for 3 minutes more, because 5 minutes is the assignment. I don't know. I said, hey, simply stand there. He said, if you don't allow me to go, I will do susu here. I will urinate here. I said, please go. He went. One experiment over. Then the second experiment. I invited one 78 not out. I said, hey, you please come. An old man came. I said, you have got 5 minutes. Talk about you for 5 minutes. and we have to call the fire brigade to put him switch off. See? He said, I have now just begun. See, friends, be attentive. Longer the past, stronger the ego. Shorter the past, lesser the ego. Stronger the ego, more easily we get hurt. Lesser the ego, we don't get hurt. See? So, what is to be done? Do not entertain your past all the time. Because your childhood belongs to the body and not to you. Nobody has ever experienced that he is born, and he is growing, he is dead. Nobody can experience this. So the past belongs to the body, not to you. But then what happens? We get identified with our body so much that the body is child, I am a child. The body is fat, I am fat. The body is old, I am old. And this disease of identification is the root cause of ego. See, friends, in deep sleep, when we are snoring away, they call it as a sound sleep. Because the sleep that produces the sound is not sound sleep. So, in that sound sleep, we are not identified with our body, and therefore, we are nobody. And when we are nobody, we are happy. Think. Therefore, to make the best use of our life is this one simple technique. Learn from every experience of your life. See, friends, many times we are not aware that we talk to somebody, whether that somebody is interested or not, we keep on talking. See. And as a result, we feel disgusted, hurt, humiliated. Don't. See, more than what we should talk, we must learn what we should not talk. See, friends. And when these all experiences are put together, the process of spiritual unfoldment is inaugurated in our life. Thereafter, whether you go to the temple, to the church or a mosque is not the criteria. The criteria is you are growing wise with every experience of your life. See, and such a wise person, he is not only an asset to himself, but to all those who come in his contact. And for that, life is the book. From this book of life, every page is filled with wisdom. Learn, learn, learn. Learning is the only way to wisdom. There is no other way. And learning not from the books. When we learn from the books, we want to teach others. When we learn from our own experiences, we become silent. See, friends, it is something like this. Two persons have taken food. One has taken sweet meat, nice food, ice cream, etc. Other has taken a useless pizza. Imagine, something happened and both of them vomited. Will we say, hey, this is a pizza vomit, this is the ice cream vomit? We will say, vomit is a vomit. In the same manner, that wisdom which is not lived in our life is like a vomit of an ice cream. It still has the stink of being a vomit. Therefore, friends, the wiser we go, the silent we become. The silent we become, we remain in the present. And when we start remaining in the present, we discover the presence that we are. This is the ultimate in life. And once this is understood, experience, thereafter life is just a time pass. Like we all have come here. For what? Anyway, 1 hour time pass, that's it. And when anything is done with an attitude of time pass, you know what happens? Be very attentive. It is not just like that. Once I was invited somewhere for dinner, and that mother told me, Swamiji, there is still time, 15-20 minutes, I am still making some. I said, okay, take your own time. So I wanted to read newspaper. They had a son, about 8 years or 7 years. He says, Swamiji, no newspaper. I said, all right. He took out one board, carom board, and he wanted me to play carom with him. I said, come on, yaar, I don't know how to play carom. You play. No, I'll teach you. Sit down. Now, I had to take food in his house. How can I disappoint him? You know, all dependence is misery. So I accepted. And he was very expert, hitting the dice and winning them. And I never played it. But then I said, I am also not ordinary. I am a Swami. I cannot be defeated. So I started using the Indian technology called a Jugaad technology. So I used to ask, hey, whose photo is that? When he looks that side, I'll take 2, 3 and put it. It doesn't matter how you win. The simple rule is, theft is a crime if you are caught. Otherwise it is not a crime, unless it is proved, So I did it twice, thrice. Then I was caught and he started shouting, Mom, Swamiji is a cheat, he's doing this. Come on, yeah, don't will again start. Okay? And then we started again. And then I was doing the same technique to make him win. In between, his mother said, Swamiji, food is ready. I said, come on, leave it here, let's go and eat food. He said, no, I'm winning. You are getting defeated, you are afraid. Now see, for that child, winning or getting defeated was an issue. For me, that game was just a time pass till the food is ready. And therefore, for me, winning or getting defeated was equal, is it not? Because in that I want to win or I am getting defeated, then I is not born. That action where doer is not born, you are in the divine kingdom. That action where doer is not born, no sin is created, no merit is created. See, friends, suppose you are a very strong Vaishnava, follower of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And those who are Vaishnavas, they are supposed to observe one particular day in a month as a fast. Ekadashi they call it. It so happened one day, when somebody got food for me, I was staying somewhere. About 5, 6 ammas were standing in front of me, I was given the food. It is the most pathetic experience when you are eating and everybody is observing you, how you can eat. But I had no choice. So I took a piece of bread and dipped it everywhere, made a cocktail. And I was going to eat, but my attention was not on the food. My attention was on those ladies, those mothers. When I did like this, they also did like this. Because identification. And then I found one lady whose mouth was maximum opened. So I called, I said, Mama, please come. She came. And I fed her with that food. I said, see, unless I offer it to the Lord, I don't eat. You are my Lord today, please take. She felt so good. Of all the people, Swamiji has given me the first food. He loves me. It is nothing like that. I didn't want to take the risk. Therefore, I just wanted to feed her. So if she survives, then I can take. So, after that, my food was over. Again she came. She said, Swamiji, I don't know what will happen now. So what happened? Do you know today is Ekadashi? Then you gave me food. Then this is a sin. Then what will happen? I said, nothing. You go directly to hell, non-stop. Friends, when we take food, I is born. I am a vegetarian. I am a non-vegetarian. I don't eat this. I don't eat that. But when the food goes inside, do we have this sense, I am digesting proteins, stop. I am digesting carbohydrates, don't disturb. I am digesting fat. Does it happen? It doesn't happen. And therefore, when there is a constipation, there is no sin. And when there is a dysentery, there is no merit. Because in the act of digestion, I is not born. So, whenever action is associated with the sense of doership, sin and merit are born. And our whole life is nothing but this burden that we carry on our head. See, friends, one example I'll tell you, this happened in USA only, many years before, must be 30 years before. There was one, she may be there, I have not seen her for so many years. She was a doctor and she took the citizenship of USA so that she can get her brother to USA on sponsorship, and he studied, he got married. And when I met this lady, she said, Swamiji, I did so much for my brother, I did this, I did that, long list. Then I got him married. After marriage, he doesn't even come and talk to me. I don't know what happened. I tried to contact him, but he doesn't want to come and speak to me. I said, okay, let me talk to him. Afterwards, I'll tell him. I spoke to him. He was such a nice gentleman, very nice person. Then I told her, I said, Mama, you know, your problem is, as you told me, I have done this thing, I have done that thing, I have done this thing, I have done that thing. That burden that you put on his head, as if he's surviving because of you. Friends, do good and forget. We do good and tell 100 times, I have done this thing for you, I have done that thing for you. Nobody does anything for anybody in this world. Everybody is doing things for themselves. See, Indian parents particularly have got this funny notion that I have done so much for the children. First of all, find out who needs whom. Whether the parents needed the children or the children need the parents. When after marriage the children are not born, who is worried? The children unborn? See, friends, if we are doing something to anybody in this world, remember this principle, your ego will never be born. Whatever we do, it is our need. The world doesn't need us. You will be happiest in this world. And this can be learned only from our own experiences. When we were not in this world, was there anything lacking? When we will leave this world, there will be nothing lacking in this world. So our arrival and departure is meaningless. Our stationary position in this world equally meaningless. But we have that ego. I am doing this, I am doing that thing. We can't even control our sneezing. Once I was in some meeting, and in that meeting we were discussing something. One person said, excuse me, and he wanted to sneeze. So everybody was ready to receive his sneeze. And it didn't come. I couldn't. Such a simple thing like a sneeze. He is not under our control, and we imagine, I am doing this, I am doing that. See, friends, whenever we are disturbed, it is a clear sign of ego. Anytime, on any issue. And such a person, he is not only himself miserable, but he makes others miserable. One more experience I'll tell you about this ego factor. This happened somewhere in India when I was traveling in along the banks of Ganges. I went to Allahabad, had a holy bath, then going to Varanasi. On the way, we had to take food. So they took me to some hotel. I said, no, I will not take food here. Let's go somewhere else. And there I saw one hotel. I said, let's go there. We went. That man, he came, he helped me because it was raining, slowly climbed the steps. And he said, Swamiji, you have come, I am so happy. I said, come on, join. What should I order for you? He said, Swamiji, this is my hotel. I said, very good. Then everything free. Come on. What do you want to give me? And as he was talking, he said, Swamiji, I want to ask you one question. I am happy. I am cheerful. I have no problem. Now what more spirituality should I do? I said, will you give me food if I don't please you? He said, yes, you tell me. I said, you say you are happy, but because of you, are your people at home, your wife, your children, are they happy? The moment I said like this, as if the tire has become deflated. Swamiji, I never expected this thing from you. I said, I told you. Are they happy because of you? Swamiji, they make my life miserable. I said, just now you said you are happy. See, friends, this is a very subtle point. One more example I'll give you, then tell the principle. One day, one of my Amma's mothers, she came and she said, Swamiji, to that man I gave him left and right. I kept quiet. She said, you are that book. When he saw your book, he started commenting in a very bad way. And I could not take it. And I gave him left and right. You are jealous of him? You could not write such a book. And therefore you are talking ill about him. So she was furious. I said, Mama, now I am in a hurry. I have to go somewhere. We will talk later. And I purchased time. After maybe about a week or two, again she came. I said, Mama, now talk. What you were talking the other day? She told the same story. But now, because of 15 days, she was cool. I said, now answer my questions. You love me. She started crying. Swami, do I have to say? I said, no, don't cry. I am not emotionally corruptible. Simply answer my questions. Do you love me? Yes. So if you love me, what is in your heart? Love. If you have love in your heart, how can you hate somebody? If you love, then you love everyone. If you love someone and not others, it is not love. It is an illusion of love. See, friends, love doesn't have a criteria. That is pure love. And why this doesn't happen? Because I is born. I love something, I don't love something. I like something, I don't like something. I am like that, I am like that. Constantly this I. And because of this burden of this I, we become miserable in our life. See, friends, therefore, if we want to change our life, we have to start from ourselves. The world is beautiful. It is in this very world all the great masters lived. It is in this very world which is full of political problems, economic situations, wars, earthquakes, tsunamis, Katrinas. They were happening then also and now also. But how come They are so great masters because they have worked on themselves. See, friends, we all work by the mind. Let us start working on the mind. When we work by the mind, it is a default setting. Like our laptops have default settings. Suppose you have got some program, the moment you start, one particular music begins or a particular picture comes, default settings. That is working by the mind. So when we work by the mind, we are reacting every moment. But when we start working on the mind, we stop reacting. And then we start working on the mind. Be attentive. Suppose you don't like something, and that happens. So when we are working by the mind, we will react. And when we are working on the mind, we will take that experience as, be attentive, as our spiritual examination. When everything is happening according to our choice, and therefore we are happy, what is our contribution? When everything is happening, any way it goes, but you are at peace with yourself, then you are working on the mind. See, friends, we hardly have ever observed when we interact what is happening to the mind. See, one example I'll give you, the difference between working by the mind and working on the mind. Many of us as a spiritual practice in every religion, they use the rosary for chanting the Lord's name. If if somebody is Hindu, he will take the mala in the hand and start Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. If it is a Gujarati, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. It becomes mechanical after some time. See? Who has come see that? As if some kind of mechanical things are going on. Now, the second step, work by the mind? No, work on the mind. When you start working on the mind, now you are observing. When I am chanting the Lord's name, is a dissimilar thought coming in between? Like, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. So when we become aware of the thought process, are the thoughts reaction, urticaria, allergy, or it is a healthy condition? So we function outside, but our attention is inside. See? Now when we just start working on the mind, two things has to be done consciously. Number one, before we talk to anybody on any topic, first ask a question to yourself. Is it necessary to talk? Many times we talk uncalled for. I should not say, but when you know, I should not say, keep your mouth shut. See? So, before we talk to others, ask this question. Is it necessary to talk? I guarantee you, in 99% cases, you will get the reply, no. And the second thing, to work on the mind. Stop talking to yourself. We talk maximum to ourselves. Now these two things. We talk to ourselves that time we go in the future and try to solve the non-existing problems. And when we talk to others, we talk about our past. The reason is, mind will die if the mind has to remain in the present. Mind cannot survive in the present. Like for the body's survival, we require food. The food for the mind is either the dead past memories or the unborn future imaginary problems. Mind will not allow us to remain in the present. Remaining in the present is not an option for us. Remaining in the present is a choiceless compulsion. We cannot live yesterday. We cannot live tomorrow. We have to live today. As you are sitting, it is your normal posture. Comfortable to sit like this thing. But if you have to sit, the headstand position, it is abnormal. You will get tired. In the same manner, we are all tired when we are either lost in the past or lost in the future. Then what do? We drop the past and the future by entering deep sleep. And in that deep sleep experience, there is no past, there is no future, because there is no time. Because there is no past, no future, no time, therefore there is nobody. Living with this understanding 24/7 is spiritual life. This alone can help us. Nobody in the world can help us. It is said, Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. We are our real friends and we are our real enemies. All of us suffer maximum because of ourselves. A person goes into depression because of anything outside? No, because of one's own mind. See, friends, the deeper you go in your understanding, you will naturally start remaining silent. And that silence is not born out of depression. See? Dispassion and depression have similar symptoms. In dispassion, one is not attracted toward the worldly things and beings. In depression also, one is not attracted toward the worldly things and beings. But the depression is an unhealthy condition of the mind, and dispassion is the healthy condition of the mind. All the wise people in this world, they are absolutely withdrawn, although they are fully involved in this world. And depressed people, they are involved in this world, but they are completely frustrated, depressed, dejected. See? Can you imagine a great master is miserable? Impossible. See, one example I'll give you to make this point. Imagine that somebody comes and talks to me about his problems. Now, if I, as a master, speak to him, my language will be different. And if I talk to him as a frustrated person, the language will be different. Therefore, all the spiritual life is help yourself to remain in the present. And when we start remaining in the present, life is most beautiful. then problems are not solved. Problems get dissolved. What we try to do is exchange the problems, not changing the problems, but dissolving the problems. And this is possible for everyone. And how this could be done, we'll try to see it in our tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.